What is up, YouTube? So today what we're going to do is install some drawer liner for the toolbox. And what I got here is some recycled tire material straight from Granger. The recycling process is pretty cool. If you want to check that out, I'll probably leave a link in the description below to check it out. But this stuff is going to save you a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of hassle in the future. So let's get to cutting some of this stuff out, installing it, and see what it looks like in the end. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when deciding what toolbox drawer liner you want to run is you want to find something that's going to be compatible with your style, setup, and everything. And I do not recommend the rubber stuff like the Craftsman drawer liner and all that Husky stuff, whatever, with the little perforated holes in it. That stuff just curls up. It collects dirt all up in there. I don't like the Mac tool stuff because it's expensive. The one with the grid and then the holes where you could screw down everything. I mean, those holes are just going to collect junk in it. And it's just way too expensive. Everything else that I looked at is either too expensive or not worth purchasing. Okay. When deciding the liner to use, what I recommend is the first thing I do is go with carpet. You know, carpet is cheap. It's weighted enough, like the outdoor carpet, marine carpet. It's weighted enough to stay in your drawer and it sits flat. That's one alternative if you don't like the rubber setup. Okay. The reason why I got this stuff is because I got a great deal on it. This stuff's from Granger. Okay, don't buy it from Granger direct because, well, directly from their website, because you'll pay a fortune for it. People are buying like the 1/4 inch stuff for like $300 for a 4-foot roll by whatever it is. It was under 10 feet for sure. But if you buy it on eBay, they have a few postings. 4-foot by 4-foot will cost, you know, in the $100 range for a 1/4 inch stuff. But I found this, which is the same exact stuff from Granger, and this is a 1/16 inch thick, which is the perfect thickness that you want for a drawer liner, so that way you can maximize your space. They were selling the 4-foot by 4-foot stuff for about that $50 range, and they actually had 120 inches, which is 10 feet, by 48 inches, which is 4 feet, for $30. And then $5 for shipping. So under 40 bucks, I'm able to do this whole drawer setup. Okay. So this whole thing I'm able to do for under around $40. 1/16 inch thick, which is perfect thickness. It won't curl. It's heavy stuff. It has a little design here, which is pretty cool. You know, they have all black and all blacked out rubber, but I mean, you're going to pay a little bit more for some odd reason. This stuff here is recycled rubber from tires and stuff. It kind of smells like brand new tires, which is kind of crazy. The way they make this stuff is they grind up all the rubber, they pour it all in this auger, and then they mix a solution so that way it stays together, and they press it into these drums with the big old hydraulic press, and it's a solid roll like this, but way bigger. And then once they pop it out of there, they take it on a lathe, and then they plane off the thickness that they want. And that's how you get this stuff. Okay, so once you get the stuff that you want, I do recommend carpet if you're looking for an alternative to rubber. Highly recommend that stuff, and a lot of it comes with a warranty. So first thing you want to do is measure your drawer. Okay, so I measure it to the maximum. Okay, so when measuring this drawer out, I'm getting 22 1/4, and the reason why I measure it to the max is because I could always trim if I want to. I try to make it perfect so it goes all the way to the edge, because I don't want junk getting down underneath the mat, and then I got to pull it out. To me, that's just not professional at all. So once you do that, then you measure the length of it. So you get the width and then the length, and this one measures out at 16 3/8 exactly. Okay, so I mean, you can measure this out to the max and then take a 1/16 off of that, and then your stuff's gonna fit perfectly. This stuff is stretchable slightly, so I mean, it'll fit in there, conform to whatever you have in there. If you have like a little bump for whatever reason, it's just gonna fill in that area, no problem. Okay, and it'll prevent your tools from scratching up the bottom of your drawer, and also sliding around, especially these hard metal style items. They're gonna just slide around every time you close your door or your drawer. Rubber stuff will stick a little bit, but they're gonna flip-flop a little bit, and it's just not gonna be evenly laid out. So let's get to cutting this. Okay, so before working with this stuff, what you're gonna need is, of course, a cardboard flooring, so that way you don't scribe through your cement, scratch it all up, or carpet, or wherever you're cutting this on. A razor blade, and then of course a paper to write all your dimensions down, a Sharpie to mark it out, because whatever you mark out and once you cut it, you just flip it over and you'll never see the Sharpie marks, and a tape measure. So these are the items you're going to need to get everything perfect. So one other item that I do recommend that's not necessary because you have a tape measure is a steel ruler. I'll go the length of this so you get a straight edge. But what you could do is also use your tape measure as a guide and then cut that way.
Came back coming for their heads. Lyrics be the ammo, feed them lead. I've held back, got a lot I never said, but it's time for that now. I don't see others, y'all whack, get back. Y'all can leave a comment, I won't hit back. If I got haters, then I'm killing it. If I got haters, then I'm killing it. This is the search, how you feeling it, yeah. This is the search, how you feeling it.
As you can see, I cut it a nice straight edge on it. It's real easy to cut once you had a sharp blade. I'm going to continue cutting out more of them. Make sure you test fit, see where you need to trim off. You shouldn't need to trim off if everything's exact. So this is what the drawer liner looks like once it's placed in. So as you can see, it's a real nice drawer liner. It doesn't curl up, it sits flat. I did have to cut a little bit more than I expected. So a little bit over a 1/16, maybe closer to an 1/8. I'd start with the 1/16. It's between a 1/16 and an 1/8, depending on your drawers. So what ended up happening was on these, when you measure from this edge to the other edge, it's a flat surface. Okay, right here you got a little radius because they got to form the metal, so it sits up on that radius, causing it to have a bubble effect. So I recommend cutting off a 1/16 or slightly over, so that way it sits flush. The larger drawer set up. I'm gonna get organizers for all this stuff. It's all still new. And then also the bottom, that's without, and then that's with the actual drawer liner in. I recommend taking these off because they just don't fit nicely in here. They touch slightly, but with the drawer liner, like, I mean, these batteries aren't going nowhere. I mean, this thing will roll because it's round, but as far as like left to right, it grips. And to protect the wood top, I bought this USA gun mat to put up here. It's oil and solvent resistant, lifetime warranty. If it messes up, they'll replace it. Very nice. It's almost like a mouse pad, but a lot stronger. And then I'll place that across the top so that way it protects the wood finish, especially when working with greasy and oily parts. So that's going to complete today's video. If you like this little install, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see content like this and other content I'll be posting, definitely consider subscribing. If you want to see the rest of the toolbox and how it's going to lay out, definitely pay attention to those videos coming up. Until next time, I'll see y'all in the next one.